not many people have heard of or even know about Keizer, Oregon, and it's completely understandable. When you look at a map, you could easily bypass it because Salem, Oregon, the capital of the state, is right there front and center. And I'll be honest, when I was thinking about making the move to Salem, I didn't even consider Keizer because I didn't know much about it. Now, after living here a number of years, I've gotten to know Keizer really well because it is the neighboring city, and there are many great things about living in Keizer, and truth be told, it's a little hard to distinguish between Keizer and Salem. Pro tip, if you see a blue street sign, then you know you're in Keizer. If you see green, you know you're in Salem. The big question is Keizer, Oregon a good alternative to living in Salem, Oregon? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over and explain the lifestyle and what it's like to live in Keizer to see if it's a good fit for you and your family while you consider moving to the Salem area. And make sure you stay throughout the video because at the end, I'm going to talk about some of the more popular neighborhoods that a lot of my clients and friends have chose to live when they choose to live in Keizer. The first thing you should know about Keizer is that it is in fact its own city with its own mayor, its own city council, its own city services. It does share, however, the school district with Salem, known as the Salem-Keizer School District. Now, with that said, being its own city, it honestly feels like it's just an extended suburb of living in Salem. So if it does just feel like a suburb of Salem, why do people choose to live in Keizer? Well, let's explore that a little bit. First, I'll say that Keizer is a lot less congested and a lot less populated. It has a population of just under 40,000 people, whereas Salem has a population of just about 200,000 people. Now, this plays a role in your day-to-day life because with less people comes less traffic, less congestion, takes less time to get to places. So that is one reason why people choose Keizer over Salem. Following those lines is that you are still close enough to Salem to enjoy all Salem has to offer, its downtown area, some of its other shopping districts, and still live away from it all. You don't have to actually be in the city of Salem to enjoy what Salem has to offer. You can choose Keizer a little bit quieter, a little bit slower, a little less hustle. Now I say hustle a little lightly. My family and I moved from a large city, so there was a lot of hustle. So if you're moving from a big city, when I say hustle, it's a little loose, but when you are in the downtown area of Salem, again, given that it's the capital, it is a lot more people around than you will find in Keizer. Another big reason why people choose Keizer is because its location. It is a little bit closer to Portland than Salem. When I say that's about 15 to 20 minutes closer, because you have easier access to the I-5 from most parts of Keizer compared to Salem. So if you're someone that is going to be working in Portland or the southern portions, the southern suburbs of Portland, you have a little bit easier access, so it lessens your commute, less time on the Interstate 5 freeway. Now, the other thing that distinguishes Keizer from Salem is the median home prices. In Keizer, it's around $420,000. In Salem, it's about $435,000 at the making of this video. Now, although $15,000 may not sound like a big difference, when you consider the type of housing market that we've been in for a while with high prices and the interest rates being high again at the making of this video, every bit counts. And you can get similar homes like for about $15,000 less, making it a bit more appealing. And again, because you're just about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes away from different parts of Salem, you can still enjoy all that Salem has to offer, but live outside of it for a lower cost of living. And I should note that a lot of people living in Keizer are very happy with the schools. Now, I've got young kids, so schools are very important to me and my wife. One of the things that we consider when making our move into Salem. And in Keizer, although I mentioned that Salem and Keizer are connected as far as their school district goes, of course, each individual school differs depending on the neighborhood that you live in. And I will say a lot of people are really happy with the high school, which is McNary High, very popular, and people speak very highly of it. And also a lot of the elementary schools, especially in the northern portions of Keizer. Make sure you check out greatschools.org for their rankings. Scores don't mean everything. They just tell a little bit of that. A lot of it is anecdotal and making sure you talk to people who send their kids to these particular schools. Parent participation and involvement is a big key to making successful schools as well. And as I mentioned, a lot of the elementary schools in the northern part of Keizer are very popular with people that live there. Now let's get a lay of the land to see exactly where Keizer is in relation to Portland and to relation to Salem, so you have an idea of where it fits in. So you can see as the map is pulled up, you can see where Keizer is in relation to Portland and see that because it's just a little bit north of Salem, you do save on that commute as I mentioned. And you can see on the map where Keizer is in relation to Salem, It is literally just the neighboring city. In fact, Salem, it runs along the border, the eastern border and the southern border of Keizer. I also want to point out the relationship between Keizer and downtown Salem, because if you are going to be living in Keizer, you will most likely be frequenting the downtown Salem area. I'll go into reasons why that is the case a little bit later in this video. But when you live in Keizer, you're about anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes from the downtown area, depending on where you actually live in Keizer. And if you want to go into southern portions of Salem, it's going to take you a little bit longer than that. Now we're going to go over some main streets that you're going to definitely want to know about when living in Keizer. We're going to go over the main north-south streets and some east-west streets so you can figure out how to navigate this city. Now, the first important street you're going to want to know about is River Road. And the reason why this is important is because this is the main artery, the main street that you're going to want to know about when living in Keizer. This is where all of the shopping district, your entertainment, your amenities are going to be when living in Keizer. This is also the street that runs south into the downtown area of Salem, so it's going to be important to know that. And when you go north, eventually you're going to hit another street, which I'll talk about in a minute, that's going to get you to the I-5 freeway. So River Road is definitely the main street. There's going to be residential on either side of it, but this is where you're going to spend probably like 90% of your time for anything you need as far as shopping or amenities go. The next north-south street you're going to want to know about is MLK Parkway / the 99 East, because this is going to be your main connection, again, to getting to the I-5 freeway as well as getting into Salem. I should also note that when you are on River Road going south and MLK / 99 East going south, they're all basically going to funnel in and filter in to Commercial Street, which runs right into the downtown Salem area. So make note of that, is eventually it'll turn into Commercial, and that's a major street that also connects Salem into Keizer. Another little bit lesser known street you're going to be aware of is Front Street. Now, depending on where you live on Keizer, and if you want to avoid some of the traffic on River Road or MLK, you can jump onto Front Street. The only crazy thing about Front Street is that there's an actual railroad that runs right along the street, so you can, what feels like, just be a few feet from a rolling train as you're driving down. So just be aware of that. But sometimes this is a great street, an alternative, if you want to head into a downtown Salem and avoid some of the traffic that you're going to find on River Road. It's a little bit quieter street. There's only it's only one lane each way, but again, a lot of people don't use it, so it's a good one to know about. Now, the biggest east-west street is going to be Lock Haven. This is a little bit further north into Keizer, but the reason why this is important is because this is the main street that when you're living in Keizer, especially the northern part, you're going to cut across east to get to the Interstate 5 freeway. It is also an important street to know because it leads to one of the biggest shopping districts that Keizer has to offer. That is known as Keizer Station. This is where a lot of people head when living in Keizer to do a lot of their shopping, a little bit of dining, and it's a little bit on the newer side, so people love going to this spot. Another street you're going to want to know about is Chemawa. Chemawa is an interesting street because Lock Haven actually turns into Chemawa once you get past the Interstate 5 freeway and takes you into farmland. Also cuts through at a kind of odd angles through Keizer and takes you to one of the biggest outdoor recreation spaces that Keizer has to offer. It's a really cool spot that we'll get into a little bit later in this video. And then, of course, you're right by the Interstate 5 freeway, which is very important for those that like to commute or need to commute for work or pleasure. Just know that Keizer has pretty easy access to that freeway. As a reminder, I'm Dave Fein with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty, and my team and I absolutely love helping people move to and relocate to Keizer, Salem, Oregon, surrounding areas. So if you're thinking about doing that, make sure you hit us up at the contact information below. Hit the like button so this video gets to more people out who are considering making this move like yourself. Subscribe if you want more videos, and comment below. I'd like to know why you're considering Keizer over Salem, or maybe you're just considering both. Comment below. I'd like to hear about that as well. Now let's talk about the amenities and some of the entertainment you're going to find while living in Keizer. Now, previously I'd mentioned River Road, and to make note of that because of how important this street was. Now, you saw on the map how it runs right through the city, but more so, this is where you're going to find your shopping, your grocery stores, your casual dining restaurants, your professional services, and more. This is the street. Sure, there's a few offshoots where you're going to find a Fred Meyer and some other places to go shopping, but for the most part, River Road is your destination. Now, notably, Keizer does not have a downtown area. It just has that main artery River Road that kind of acts as its downtown support. But really, if you want a downtown feel, you're going to want to hit River Road south into the Salem downtown area. So what's also important is, as far as amenities and as far as entertainment goes, if you want a little bit more of a upper scale dining experience, something that's a little bit more walkable, then you're going to want to head into the downtown Salem area. But again, it's only 10-15 minutes away depending on where you are in the Keizer area, and you're just shooting down that River Road to get there. And Salem does have a charming downtown that's really nice to explore. So when you live in Keizer, you can easily access that for a lot of your entertainment. As far as eating goes in Keizer, it's more of fast casual, some fast food, but that's kind of it. You're a little bit limited, but not to worry, because again, you're super close to those amenities and those entertainment spots when living in Keizer by just heading into Salem. What you're going to notice in Keizer is that along River Road, it's just made up of a lot of your outdoor strip centers. Some are smaller, some a little bit larger, but that's just kind of the way Keizer is set up. As I mentioned, no downtown area, but you have these little shopping centers, little shopping districts all along River Road. And my family and I live in Salem, but we travel to and through Keizer quite often. My kids are into Legos. They've got a really cool place called Bricks and Beyond there. It's a Lego store. We like to use their bowling alley there, which is right there on River Road. Now, one of the main reasons my family and I go into Keizer is that it has Keizer Station. And this is a little bit more newer, updated shopping center, shopping district that the city has to offer. In fact, a lot of people from Salem travel to Keizer Station because they like it so much. There's a lot of big box stores there, a lot of smaller stores there. You've got some dining there. There's two Targets in the area. One is in Salem, one is in Keizer. The newer and bigger one is in the Keizer Station, and so we like going to there. They also have In-N-Out Burger, so if you've seen my videos, you know that my family and I moved from Los Angeles, so In-N-Out was a really big deal there. If you're on the West Coast, you already know about this. If you're not, it's a popular burger joint that opened up in the Keizer Station. Also, one of the two Chick-fil-A's, one in Salem again, but it's in South Salem. We usually go to the one in Keizer. It's a little bit closer for us. I know I'm mentioning these kind of fast casual foods like it's a big deal, but because we haven't had this in the Salem area, it has become a big deal. You're going to find those in the Keizer area. Also a place called Hops and Drops. So like if you like burgers, a full bar experience, I recommend that. There's an Outback there. There's a teriyaki place, Chipotle. Again, a lot of fast casual stuff, but if you're shopping, it's nice to have those restaurants there because you don't have to leave the area to eat and then do more shopping later. There's a Lowe's there. There's an Ulta, the Staples. There's Michael's. There's shoe stores, jewelry stores, coffee. There's a lot here. Pretty much anything that you need or would want in a shopping center is right here. Now, also attached to the Keizer Station is the Volcano Stadium. We don't have any professional sports in Salem, but we have a lot of independent sports. We have some college sports. And one of the independent leagues is a independent baseball league. The Keizer Volcanoes play there at the stadium. There's actually 4 teams that play here. They just revamped the fields, which is really cool. It's a great experience. Highly recommend if you are into baseball. Keizer has this to offer, and again, it's connected to Keizer Station. So catch a game, do a little shopping, do a little eating, and kind of make a day of it. Also notable, if you have kids and they love baseball like our family does, Keizer has its own Little League, which is really nice. They have a whole complex to it with multiple fields, a little snack shop area, and it's a kind of a popular baseball league to be a part of when you're living in Keizer. Now, another reason my family and I go into Keizer is for its outdoor activities. One of the biggest parks in the area, Keizer Rapids Park, is amazing. It has acres and acres of open space. I would equate this with kind of a combination of Riverfront Park in Salem and Mento Brown Island Park in Salem. It's kind of a combination of the two. And if you're not familiar with either one of those, you got to check out my videos about Salem to get more information on that. But this is an enormous open park space that my family and I love going to. It has an awesome playground if you've got kids. It's called the Toy Box, and it's really cool activities, some really fun things to do for the kids there. There are several pickleball courts. There are sand volleyball courts, a massive off-leash dog park. So if you got fur babies, they have really nice soccer fields and football fields with artificial turf so it doesn't get all messed up during the rain that we get here in the Pacific Northwest. Baseball fields, big open space with walking paths and trails. There's an amphitheater. They like to do movies in the park, concerts in the park. There are boat ramps because it's adjacent to the Willamette River, making it really nice for river access and river activities. And they have a really nice walking trail along the river, kind of in this hidden forest area. So it's a beautiful park. It's kind of hidden in Keizer. You've got to go way west, as far west as you can kind of go in the Keizer area. It's adjacent to a lot of residential areas. So beautiful park space. Highly recommend going to if you've got family, if you've got kids. Whether you're living in Salem or living in Keizer, it is definitely a destination to go to. Another really cool spot to go to that's not technically in Keizer, it's just about 15, maybe 20 minutes above Keizer, just north, is the Willamette Mission State Park. So if you live in Keizer, you're going to be super close to this. And my family and I travel from Salem to go here because it's a beautiful open park space. The park is made up of about 1,300 acres that includes wetlands, woodlands, rolling meadows, and working farmland. It has 5 miles of bike paths, 6 miles of horse trails, about 2.5 miles of a self-guided education trail, 1 mile jogging loop. There's also water activities where you can enjoy fishing. There's also a boat ramp you can launch your boat, kayaks from, and then just enjoy some of the river play. It also has an 18-hole disc golf course, so this park is amazing. If you just like being outdoors, you like a little play, you like a little hike, a little picnic area, getting into the river, this is an amazing spot, and it's just north of Keizer. So if you're living in the city of Keizer, you have easy access to that. And my family love the outdoors. It's one of the reasons why we moved to the Pacific Northwest. We just want to be surrounded by the outdoor life, outdoor recreation, and Keizer does not disappoint. In addition, when you're living in Keizer, you are really super close to what I call as agritainment. Living in Salem or living in Keizer, you have access to a lot of the local farms that are in the area, and a lot of them have the you pick experience. So if you love fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, a lot of these farms open up during the spring, summer, and even parts of the fall. We can go to these farms and pick some of the freshest fruit and produce that you've ever experienced. My family and I love doing this. We make it a constant outing during those seasons. We love picking our blueberries, our raspberries, our cherries, our peaches, our apples, and more. And right off the vine, it is so sweet, so delicious, and you have all of this access by living in Keizer. One of our favorite farms, Easy Orchard, does some really cool fall festivities during the Halloween, Thanksgiving time. They've got a giant corn maze, hay rides, pumpkin patch, fun kids games. They've got food there. They've got great cider donuts, some of the best in the area. And when you're living in Keizer, you just shoot across Lock Haven going east past the Interstate 5, and about another 10 minutes or so, you're at Easy Orchard. So you're really close to that. And again, you're just surrounded by farmland living in Keizer. For me personally, sometimes when I just want a breath of fresh air or need a little bit of a break, I just take a drive. I love getting in the car by myself or just with my kids sometimes, and we just drive through the farmland, seeing the farm animals, seeing the agriculture. It just kind of reminds us, again, one of the reasons why we moved to the Salem Keizer area, and it's just a kind of a great reset, and you have easy access to that when living in the city of Keizer. Now let's talk about the neighborhoods in Keizer. A lot of the neighborhoods are very similar to what you're going to find in Salem. Biggest difference is I find that you have a little bit more architectural appeal, different styles, and a little bit more variation in the type of homes you can buy when living in Salem. When you're living in Keizer, you have less of that. It's a little bit more cookie cutter. Again, I mentioned how it just feels like an extended suburb of Salem, and that is because it does. It's mainly residential when you're talking about Keizer, and a lot of it is mid-century kind of ranch-style homes. You're going to find some unique homes in certain pocket areas, but I will say the homes in the neighborhoods west of River Road are going to be a little bit more expensive than what you're going to find east of River Road. And that's just a generality. There are some caveats to that, but that's in general a little bit more expensive. It's going to be west of River Road, closer to the river, Willamette River, and less expensive east. I said I was only going to talk about a couple neighborhoods, but I want to add a few more. And I also want to make note that when talking with clients moving to the Keizer area and talking with people living in Keizer, a lot of people like living in the northern section of Keizer, although it's a little bit further away from the entertainment in the downtown Salem area. It is a little bit closer to Keizer Station, but more importantly, they just feel a little bit more away from it all. Keizer, again, feels like a giant suburb, but this even pushes you out at the very outskirts and the edge of Keizer, where it's very quiet, very secluded, and it is going to be a little bit more expensive to live out here, but these communities are pretty well established, well-maintained homes, well-manicured lawns, and just a very popular place to be. Also, people really like the elementary schools in these areas. Some of the neighborhoods that are north, but still being west of River Road, is going to be Keizer Prairie, Cedar Bluff, the Meadows. Those three neighborhoods are above Lock Haven along River Road. And again, when you go into these communities, they feel really nice. They feel really secluded, quiet. You see a lot of kids roaming around, a lot of people walking their pets. You talk to people about living in those particular neighborhoods, they are really happy with the purchase and their lifestyle there. I should also make note that there's another neighborhood that's connected to that man-made river in Keizer called Lake Forest Estates. It's kind of connected to the Lake Fair Village neighborhood. And this is all part of the Inland Shores Lake area. If you want more detailed information about some of these neighborhoods or other neighborhoods, again, make sure you reach out to my team and I at the contact information in this video or in the description. We'll be happy to help. There's a really cool spot in Keizer, west of River Road and right along the Willamette River. We're going to find some larger properties, larger homes with amazing views of the Willamette River. It's right on the river and you're super close to the Keizer Rapids Park. So it's a really cool spot. So if you're looking for something specific like that, that's where those homes are going to be. Now I'm going to talk specifically about two neighborhoods that a lot of people talk about when living in Keizer. It's pretty popular. One of them being the McNary Estates. It is a golf course community. And when you go in there, you do feel completely away from it all. It is in one of the more northern sections of Keizer, but it actually puts you really close to and that much closer to the Willamette Mission State Park. McNary Estates is one of the more expensive parts of Keizer, but if you love that golf course feel and you want to live along a golf course or just close to one, then this is a great spot for you. Mix of single-story, two-story homes, really well manicured, beautiful neighborhood view, beautiful spot, and it's right by the golf course over there, McNary Golf Course. Also, kind of attached to this, you have a little bit of a commercial spot that we're going to find some professional services. You're going to find Courthouse Gym. Courthouse Gym is a kind of a popular gym in the Salem Keizer area. They got pools, workout equipment, running tracks. They've got really cool fitness classes. It's a really, really nice gym to be a part of, and they also put on seasonal programs as well. Another neighborhood that people talk a lot about is the Lake Fair Village. These are homes in a community that's surrounded by a lake. It is a man-made lake, but a lake nonetheless with a walking path right around it. So that's pretty cool if you like that feel as well. Here you're going to find, again, a mix of different types of homes. This community is also in the northern parts of Keizer, again, putting you closer to Keizer Station, right off of River Road. It's a unique feel, so if that's something that you think you would enjoy, again, it's also going to be one of the more expensive areas when talking about Keizer. But again, well manicured, you feel away from it all. It's really quiet, it's secluded. So you do have really cool options for those types of life, that type of lifestyle when living in the city of Keizer. So you can see there's a lot of benefits for living in a Keizer. You have a better idea of what the lifestyle is, where it is located in relation to Salem and Portland. It is, again, it just feels like an extension of Salem. However, it is its own city, and a lot of people do choose it because it is a little bit more quieter, a little bit more laid back. You still have everything that you need living in Keizer, and you're really close to the downtown area for Salem, if that's the type of entertainment that you're looking for. Many of my clients love choosing Keizer as an alternative to Salem, and living in Salem, we go into Keizer all the time for a number of reasons that I mentioned in this video. So if you are looking to make the move to Keizer or Salem, make sure you reach out to my team and I at the contact information below. I am David with the Real Estate Dads at eXp Realty. Also, again, love to hear what your thoughts are after seeing this video, if it helped. If you're thinking about Keizer or Salem, what are you considering the differences? And hit the like button to get this video out to more people like yourself who are researching their way into the Keizer and Salem area. And of course, subscribe to the channel to get more videos like this. We'll see you on the next one.